I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. Oh, every time I close my eyes, I see my name in shiny lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
How did your parents nurture that ability? I know like a lot of kids these days don't have that support, and how you feel?
My parents were fine with it. My mother was certain I was the smartest person in the world, and she would often tell me that, and that therefore I should work harder because I was not such a hard worker. I have to confess to the audience, I goofed off a fair amount. But I did love math and science, and I did study that one.
Other side of that equation is a student. We live in a very fast culture, instant gratification, they said a fast food culture.
Yeah.
Mathematics, it's a lot of mental, processing.
Yep.
Do you feel like something in the culture
No.
also inhibits that?
I don't think so. I just think, as I say, we get through 8th grade somehow okay compared to our peers. And it's at that point that we fall off. I don't think it has to do with the culture. It's a good question, but I don't think that's the answer.
Okay.
I don't think that's.
You have accomplished great accolades between the financial and obviously in the mathematical and academic fields. Which one of the two are you most proud of?
I suppose, I've been asked that question before, and I've given two different answers. One time I answered I'm more proud of the company Renaissance. The other time I answered I'm more proud of the math. So I would say it's a draw.
You retired. So what's next?
Oh, I just retired from Renaissance. I
Yes.
retired from the investment company.
Exactly.
But by the time I retired, I was already spending the majority of my time on other things.
Okay.
Whether it was the autism research or Math for America or a Center for Geometry and Physics that we started. Philanthropy. So I was spending the majority of my time on philanthropy. Now I'm spending all of it. Okay. So that's the only difference.
You get a little traveling there too. So we have some questions from the teenagers.
From teenagers.
Yes.
All right.
Some teenager stuff right here. So, what is it like to be a billionaire?
What is it like to be a billionaire? Well, it's nice. It's nice to have a lot of money if you're sensible about it. Obviously, you don't have to worry about, can we afford to go out to dinner tonight or not. It's nice to be able to visit beautiful places around the world when and have the time and the ability to do that. And I think it's especially nice to be able to help other people. So that's what it's like for me to be a billionaire.
How big was the first paycheck that made you feel rich?
Oh, I remember. I never felt as rich as I did when I had made $1 million. I made $1 million. And I felt, and this was quite a while ago, at least the family had somehow, my parents and me, but $1 million. And I felt richer than I've ever felt since. Right? Because it was such a dramatic change. And at that time, interest rates were 12%. That's $1 million, 12%, $120,000 a year. My salary at that time as a professor was $30,000. So I thought, hey, I can get 4 times as much as they pay me and I don't have to do anything. Now, the interest rates eventually came down and so on. But nonetheless, it was unbelievable how rich I felt for that short time. Oh, I was pretty old. Late 30s, maybe middle 30s probably, middle 30s. Because I'd spent almost 15 years. My mathematics career was about 15 years long, and I finished early. I got a PhD when I was 23. I was already, teaching at MIT and Harvard and places, and working away at mathematics. So I wasn't spending. I didn't go into the money-making business until my mid-30s, really. So that's.
Do you feel that students are not naturally, quote unquote, good in math can still strive in it?
Yes. Look, sports. I mean, not everyone is going to be, I don't know, who's your favorite baseball player or football player. Far from it. Most kids couldn't make their college team. They couldn't even make their high school team. But still, you can be pretty good at sports. You can be a good tennis player or a pretty good baseball player. We just we're not, every one of us born with the talents of a Muhammad Ali. I mean, imagine, you can think, if you just work, you could be a world champion boxer. I don't think so. So talent obviously plays a big role, but there's no reason that one can't be good and competent and enjoy it. And look at all the people who enjoy sports who aren't really very good at it, whether it's golf or tennis. When you get older, you play these games. So it can be enjoyable, even though someone who's really good would knock your socks off. So I think math's the same way. You can enjoy it. It is satisfying to see how a problem can get solved and see, hey, now I understand. I can do this. You might not love it, but it can be enjoyable and satisfying. So I think, yes, you don't have to be Einstein or Muhammad Ali to enjoy either science or physical stuff.
The next question is, was there ever a moment you felt like giving up? And what was that moment?
Yeah, I would say there was a moment I felt like giving up. One, when I was a graduate student, in my first year as a graduate student, I somehow felt this might be just a wrong thing for me. And I just ought to stop and go to work, get a job. My first year graduate student, I was 20 or 21. I graduated college when I was 20, and then just stayed one more year to be a graduate student. This was at MIT. And sometime during the early part of that year, I was just, for some reason, I just got very discouraged. I wasn't enjoying some of the studying I was doing, one thing or another. So I almost quit, and I went and talked to the graduate advisor, a guy named George Thomas. He was a good guy. And he knew I was pretty talented at math, and I guess he'd seen lots of kids who, sort of get down on themselves at some point or other. And he said, oh, no, he was very encouraging. I said, maybe Thomas is right. And that was really the only time that so I almost dropped out, but I didn't. Look, we all get discouraged at times, and if you live long enough, there'll be times when you feel, man, this is really beating me down. And, you'll pace around at night and think, this is a mess. And you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning and say, I can face it and I can do it. So everybody has his moments.
And finally, why do the interview with Celebrity High?
I did an interview with Celebrity High because I did want to talk to high school kids about Math for America and the importance of math and science. And I was convinced that this was a pretty good venue. And that's why I did the interview. Okay, I'm Jim Simons, and this is Celebrity High.
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had.